Well, Brandon, I mean, you were given an opportunity to touch the ball a lot more than usual, and you responded. Do you think this means increased workload, more Brandon, less Eli?
No, I think it's just proof of a balance. Obviously we have like so many playmakers on offense that like sometimes it's gonna be somebody else's game. So I think it's definitely it shows other teams that they have more than just Eli or just Blake, to worry about. And I mean I think they already knew that, but that reassured that.
So, do you think it was the case to where they were keying on Eli? I do think on some pass plays it looked like they were bracketing him a little bit. But do you think there was that they may have been keying on Eli, and therefore that opened things up for you?
I think so. I mean, like that like he's been producing crazy like the past couple games, especially in the passing game. So I think they may have made it that goal to their goal to take that away to make it harder for us. But like Eli was still able to get open and make some plays as well.
So I think something Coach Newberry mentioned is that you've been doing a lot of hard blocking for Eli on pitch plays and whatnot, and Coach Newberry indicated that Eli blocked very well for you. Are you appreciative of that?
Yes,
Returning the favor, so to speak.
yeah, I am very appreciative. Like I mean, we go back and watch the film on the sideline, and it was some crazy blocks. So I'm throwing thank yous at him like every drive. So I am very appreciative of that.
Thank you.
Tim Nolan.
Yeah, talking to Cody Howard last night, he said something interesting about the pride he takes in his blocking, how he almost feels like it's a service to the ball carrier, whether it's yourself, Blake, Eli, and you kind of seem to carry yourself similarly. Where does that come from?
I mean, it's just a part of what we preach, and like for our program, like we're big on the brotherhood, and we feel like we're the closest team in the country, and I really believe that just the things that we go through together, whether it's the daily struggles at the Naval Academy or the hard workouts when it comes to football and stuff like that, I feel like it just brings us closer, and it makes you want to block 10 times harder for your brother.
Seemed like early on FAU was really keying on Blake and forcing him to pitch quickly on a lot of those triple option and veer plays. Was that something that you think sprung you for a lot of big gains?
Yeah, I think that also like helped open him up as well. So I he pitched it to me a couple times, and then they started like, all right, he keeps pitching it, so we're gonna we're gonna key in on that, and then Blake would just kind of give a little move, fake pitch, and then cut right upfield. So they really just didn't know what to do.
You also made a couple of nice snags, including one over the middle. How do you set yourself up in the run game so that you can be a threat and get some good one-on-one matchups down the field?
Yeah, it's all about, just taking the right step and being aggressive in the run game and in the blocking game. And then, when it's coming up to the pass game, like nothing changes, like our passes build off our runs. So if I'm coming to block you on a run play, I'm coming the same way on a pass play and just slip right past you.
Thanks, chat.
Scott Wyckoff.
Brandon, how much are you enjoying this senior year, not only with the success you guys are having in football, but just the overall experience at the Naval Academy being a senior and what you've gone through and seeing kind of this light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm definitely blessed to be in this position, and I'm glad I'm finally here. It definitely does fly by, but just being a senior, like just academy wise, it's a lot more freedoms. Like I can get out of practice on a Thursday and just throw some regular clothes on and go downtown, grab some food, hang out with my friends, things like that. So it's a lot more calming, less things to worry about. And just as for football, it's last one in college, so just trying to give it my all.
What does it mean for you guys offensively to have Braxton to be able to come in and the exact play that he's called to do, making things happen and giving you guys just another weapon?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing exactly what we knew he could do. Like I mean, we've seen it VMI, we've seen it some in the past years. Like he's a playmaker, and I mean, we have Blake Horvath right now, but we got to get our playmakers on the field and get the balls in their hands. So if we can implement him and like get him the ball more or have him like involved in the offense, that just makes it 10 times harder to stop.
A lot of folks have been talking about the North Texas offense and all the points they put on the board. What have you seen from their defense that you guys are focusing on?
I mean, like just from a just playing standpoint, I feel like play harder than a lot of the teams that we've went against already. You know, they play some man, and we have playmakers, so I think that we'll be able to make some plays and beat them on things. But just in general, like they play hard, so it's maybe some teams you might break for a big play and the guy's not really running, so it makes it a little bit easier. But now you're gonna have guys running after you, trying to make the play, trying to win. Like this is like every game from here on out, we're basically fighting to be in the conference championship. So I don't think they're going to go down easy at all.
Thanks.
Brandon, you read Twitter and stuff, everyone's picking North Texas. Is that a role you guys relish, being the underdog? Because a lot of you have been underdogs all your life and, weren't really highly recruited. And it just seems like that's a role that you guys really, really enjoy being in, is being the one who's overlooked.
Yeah, I mean, I just think something that we pride ourselves on is just playing with that chip on our shoulder, and so I don't think being the underdog really affects us. Like, let everybody think what they think, because at the end of the day, the only people who truly believe are the ones in that room with us, the ones to the left and right of you on the field. So, being an underdog is cool. Even when we're up, we still have to perform like we're the underdog, shock the world.
Wyatt Kopelman, thank you.
Hey, Brandon, Coach Newberry talked about how one thing this team can do better down the next couple games this season offensively is just finishing drives. From your perspective, what do you think it'll take for that to happen this next game, if not for maybe next couple games or even down the stretch of the season?
Honestly, I just think it's the little things. Like, there's been a couple times during the season where we had like a long drive, and then it 3 and out, or don't convert on fourth down due to like a penalty, or just like one person not doing their job. And I mean, it's part of the game. Either sometimes it's not even one person not doing their job; it's just the other team doing their job well. So I think it's like taking that right step and getting on the right person, but also dominating your job on those crucial downs.
And what was working for you so well for this offensive line to get the open lanes that you needed to establish that line of scrimmage early on against Florida Atlantic?
I mean, I think for us as a whole, we've had 6 games under our belt. We've been in some tough situations, so kind of just learning from that, building off that, and playing relaxed football, having fun with it.
And you've been part of this program for a few years now. As you begin to speak on how quickly senior season can go by, how do you see the maturity of this offense compared to when you first arrived?
Yeah, I mean, it was a completely different staff my freshman year, and it was also different my sophomore year. But I mean, like even just with Coach Chronic, like, learning the plays and building off that, he's not too hard on you, when you're messing it up the first time. He's just big on don't make the same mistake twice. And being with Coach Chronic for the past 2 years and being able to, like, just build on his offense and spend time around him, his biggest thing with us is no fear of failure. And I feel like, playing, especially with the young guys, like we have younger guys, but they've been playing. I think he always preaches that, and we try to live by that. So that no fear of failure piece is big, and I think we've matured in that area.
Thank you.
Wags.
So when you went back and looked at the film and the plays that you had good yardage on, was there anything in particular that happened? It seemed like a lot of times on the pitches to the perimeter, you had a really nice running lanes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it comes down to just guys doing their job. Like everybody was blocking their tails off, and honestly, it made it easy on me.
One thing Blake is pretty adept at is waiting till the last possible minute to pitch, so that, and he makes sure that the defender commits to him before pitching. Sometimes it means a late pitch. It's kind of scary, but can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, when I think of that, I just think of the phrase that "scared money doesn't make any money." I think that's just one of the things that makes our offense more elite, because you have to choose. If like Blake cuts up with the ball and you don't attack him, then he's just gonna keep running. And we've seen that he's gonna break some tackles, he's gonna take off and run past people. And so you have to respect it. And then once you respect it, you have one more person, whether it's me, the Z, or even Alex, me, Eli, or Alex, just and like next to him, like now he has that option as well. And then you have to respect that, and you got guys in front just doing their job and blocking. So I really feel like it elevates our game as a team.
There's been a lot of talk about how difficult this month is in terms of the competition you'll see. Is that something that you and the rest of the team really look forward to?
Yeah, I think our opponents, nameless and faceless, and I feel like every game is a big game. Every game since the first game has been a big game. So we're not going to look at this any differently. We're not going to press for it. We're just going to go out there and play football. Just keep growing, keep learning, and go out there and have fun.
Thanks, Brandon.
Tim Nolan.
Chad, you got a front row seat to watch your freshman tackle Malcolm Johnson make a couple of make a couple of plays against FAU. What did you like from him, and what really impressed you in his first start?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say I was impressed because we practice with him every day. We see what he's capable of. Just a younger guy, so obviously there's a lot that he can build on, a lot that he can learn from. But he has the size, he has the talent, so there wasn't much of a surprise right there. And that just goes back to that fear of failure piece. Coach Cronick stood him up Friday night, and he was like, "Yeah, like this is our starting tackle today, and everybody in here believes in you, and we're all behind you," type thing. And I think that just helped build that confidence and let him know that the guy to his left and the right and behind him, all have his back.
What was it like for you last night seeing your fellow snipe Eli get announced as a new participant in the East West Shrine Bowl?
Oh no, it was crazy. Like I'm happy for him. I told him congratulations, gave him a hug. There was like a bunch of people surrounding him when he opened it up, but it was definitely a cool experience. You don't see that a lot here at Navy, so just knowing that we have players of that caliber on our team is special.
How much does the prospect of a shootout like this weekend can be excite you as a competitor, knowing, hey, if they go for 40 points, we'll score 41. If they go for 48, we can go for 49.
Yeah, I mean, I think that honestly, it fires me up. I'm excited. Like I know they have a good offense. We have a good offense. I mean, I am confident in our defense to stop them. But at the end of the day, like you said, like we're going to go out there and score too. And if it comes down to it, we're probably going for the 2-point conversion. So that just lights a fire under me and kind of put some excitement in my heart for sure.
Thanks, Brandon.
Scott Wyckoff.
Brandon, how have you enjoyed it over the last couple seasons now with Coach Cole as your position coach? He seems like a real unique coach out there, the way he works with you guys.
Honestly, I think it's been great. He's a great football coach. Originally a defensive guy, so having that perspective, that defensive perspective side of things, whether it's inside run and stuff like that, he's kind of always teaching us things about the defense, and I think that kind of just elevates our knowledge for the game. And then he's hard on us at times, and so that can be frustrating. But at the end of the day, like that's what you want. You want a coach that's going to be hard on you, that's going to hold you accountable. And then outside of football, he's a family guy, loving guy, and he always takes care of us, looks out for us, and makes sure everything is all well with us.
What do you think it is about this team that makes it so good at doing the 1-0 each week? The coaches talk about it. They say, "Oh, it sounds like a cliche," but you guys have really taken it to heart, this 1-0 mentality.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a part of what transfers over from what happens over here in the hall. Uh, there like just in the military in general, there may be things that you have to do that you don't want to do, or when it comes to the academic side of things, obviously we go to a harder school, and sometimes you have to, like, oh, I have this test, I don't think I did well on it, but you got to lock in and get ready for next one and go do this, go do that. So I just think that those kind of things keep us busy, but also give you the mentality, like, do your best and handle business in the moment, and then on to the next thing. And then that's also something that just we preach in the locker room. Like there's going to be bad plays and there's going to be good plays, but it's important to get back to neutral and get ready for the next play.
Do you think you're going to end your career a better football player because of going to an academy and all that's been involved with what it takes to be a member of the brigade?
100%. It's I feel like at the service academies in general, football is peer. We've been together the past couple of years, and the things that we have to go through every day really separates us. So I think it will make me a better football player as a whole.
Thank you.
Wyatt Kopelman.
Brandon, when you see this team leading the country in rushing touchdowns, nearly 30, what does that say about how far the offense has come, and what do you still want to prove when everyone's watching this weekend?
I think it just proves a lot. Like we showed glimpses of it last year, and it's a lot of the same players coming back, and I feel like just coming in as a freshman, at least me personally, I had a feeling that our class was, it was going to be special. And even with us being seniors, we have a lot of great younger guys. So I think it just like shows that our program as a whole is on the up, and it's going to continue to build off of that. And then also like things that I feel like I want us to, just improve on. Honestly, like yeah, we're number one in rushing, but I just I want us to be number one in the nation as a whole.
Where do you think this rushing attack can still take another step heading into November now?
I mean, I think it's just like focus on the little things. Like everybody knows how to do their job. Everybody knows who to block and what to do. And now it's just like the little thing where whether it's like yeah I made the block but my hands weren't tight, or yeah you got to your person fast but if you take this step you could get there faster. So just kind of fine tuning the timing and the minute details. That's what's gonna elevate it.
And it sounds like there's real pride in being the more physical team with how well the offensive line has performed. How much of that mindset do you think comes from Coach Cronick's approach week to week?
I think it's a lot of Coach Chronic and a lot of Coach D. Like I just think we pride ourselves with that in general. You know, even like as my position room, the receivers, like everybody, like we do ball security stuff, and then we do blocking drills. The O line they're doing that all day. So I just think that just goes to show that that's something that we focus on because at the end of the day, like you got to be able to block first, like especially even as a ball carrier, like obviously we're recruited to play D1 football, so everybody can carry the ball, but can you block? And so I just think that that's something that we works on. So it's a testament to just show that it's important to us.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Brandon, what do you take more pride in, running for a touchdown or setting a key block that leads to a touchdown by somebody else?
I would definitely say setting the key block. It's honestly like yeah, you want to make plays, you want to see yourself be great, but at the end of the day, like I also want to win. So when I don't have the ball, I want to be the person to make that block. Like I feel like when I make that key block, I share the glory as well, and it's nothing more wholesome than to see your brother happy in the end zone.
And then in a couple of weeks is service assignments. What did you put in for?
I put Navy Cyber and then Marine Cyber.
Awesome. Anyone have any other questions for Brandon? All right. Thanks a lot, Brandon. Great job.
All right, thank you. Have a good one.